From Caleb, a two-part question from the one-part supreme overlord of all things noble and one-part bulwark against the exterior darkness. What would you say to a Jew while witnessing to him? Also, what are the differences between the Jewish vision of heaven and the Christian view? Much obliged, a one-part Klavan fan with room for Shapiro and Knowles. We always joke here that the first person to convert Shapiro goes straight to heaven, like it's just like Elijah going bang, you just take off. But we got into a discussion the other day. Man, should I say this? Yeah, but we got into a discussion the other day where we were joking around about Jews getting into heaven because I believe that God has a special. The Catholics believe this too. That there's a special dispensation for Jews, and they in fact, in the circumstances where they will be permitted into heaven, they will be permitted into heaven. And I said, of course, we have to accept Shapiro. Nobody's going to let Shapiro into heaven. I said, because if you have Shapiro in heaven, he would say things like, well, things are fine for eternity, but after that, there's going to be trouble. No, we are taking Shapiro to heaven. We are going to link arms with Shapiro and carry him to heaven, no matter what anybody says. We're taking him with us. I don't witness to people in that sense. I do not preach to people because why? Because I don't think it works. I think it's offensive. I think it offends people and puts them off. If I'm trying to sell the kingdom of God, why would I preach to people? Why would I say your religion is bad, mine is good? I try to live so that it matters to people. I'm willing to discuss it with anybody who wants to discuss it with me. I try to point out, if I'm in that discussion, I try to point out where my values are connected to my Christian faith. But, my job, if my job is to spread Christianity, preaching to people is the worst way to do it, right? Why would I do it if it doesn't work? Okay, so that's my idea. The Jewish vision of heaven has changed and is very complex, and different people have different ideas of heaven. There is a vision of heaven in the Old Testament, or the afterlife in the Old Testament, but I think both in the Gospels, Old and New Testament, it's very vague. It is very vague. The one thing we know about Christianity, which, remember, comes out of Judaism and all its thoughts that at the beginning were Jewish thoughts, is that we know you get a new body. And that's very important because the people who think of the soul as just this kind of ghostly thing, like Casper, the friendly ghost, the ghost in the machine. That's not the Christian way of talking. There is a resurrection of the body. You get a fresh body. I'm not really an expert on the Jewish idea of heaven. I really don't have, because different people have different ideas, and there are some Jews who don't even believe in an afterlife, and that's still within the bounds of Judaism. So I'll ask Shapiro next time I see him. When I see him in heaven, I'll ask him.